Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. I've worked with over 16,000 people in the last 14 years. It'll be 15 in October on a variety of topics, including addiction recovery, trauma recovery, thought mastery, and energy control. Also, things like relationship, life, and business coaching. So, if that's you, if you're looking for one or more of those things, would love to be of service to you, please feel free to reach out. There's a couple ways you can do that through the About Me section of this YouTube page or in the at PO Perception Twitter account. This is our life lesson series. This is number 88 in the series. So the first thing is understand that challenge is a part of life. Challenges build your emotional, mental, and physical muscles. When you challenge yourself, you begin to see yourself as capable of doing things you never imagined possible. When you have a good relationship with challenge, you're then better able to see your own value in the long and short term of how you move forward through your own goals. When you have a aversion to challenge or being challenged, then you begin to resist change. Change is one of the few things other than death and taxes that are guaranteed in this world. We all will transcend back into some form of non-physical. We all will be forced or cajoled or believing in paying some form of taxes to the various world governments, and we all will experience continual relationships with change. When you have a relatable relationship with change, including a relationship with your own personal resiliency, you then will be able to navigate life in a more meaningful, empowered, and intelligent way. This may not necessarily mean that you know everything that's coming, but when you see yourself as adaptable and that quitting is not an option. Now, altering what matters to you and or redirecting your energies towards something that matters more to you now than what used to. In other words, if you're in your 50s, then perhaps having a child isn't the best idea. If you're in your 20s, then making $1 million a year or $1 million a day might not be a good idea. But still, work towards the goals you have as long as you're willing to develop the relationships and resources to make the goals into reality. There is absolutely no reason to not put effort towards that which you're doing. Now, make sure that you're putting effort towards something. When you're putting maximum effort towards a thing, goal, idea, concept, or focal point, then you can honestly look at it and go, you know what? I've done everything I can do. Whereas when you're trying, we associate in most often in the cortex of the brain, try and fail. So when you begin to understand that rather than try, put maximum effort forward, and then you adjust your goals and the timetables of the goals, not the overall desire to achieve the goal, but the timetable and the way in which you reach it. Understand that there's multiple pathways to the same result. When you begin to understand the value of what you're pushing forward to and be able to make a distance between yourself and your own fear in a positive way, you will then be able to navigate and maximize your own ability to continually make decisions that are going to lead you forward instead of backwards. Most often, the people that get in the habit of moving backwards are individuals who do not see themselves as capable of making complete commitments. So commit to your outcome. Acknowledge within yourself that sometimes you're not going to emotionally feel like following through. You're not going to feel like making certain decisions. You're not going to feel like this is worth it every bit of the time. But know your customer or your consumer or your target audience. Obviously, in relationships, they're not customers, they're target audience. They're the idea of the person you're trying to convince that you're a good catch. But know what their strengths are, know what their weaknesses are, know what their needs portfolio is, and understand how to connect with them on a deeper level. If you feel you can no longer connect with a person, be willing to let them go, not because necessarily you don't have emotions towards them, but because trying to force someone into a situation where you continue a relationship with them when you've naturally outgrown each other can not only be painful, but in all honesty, it's useless and oftentimes counterproductive to try to force a relationship or a relational experience forward. This doesn't necessarily mean that you won't have times when you're tempted to do this, but it just means at the end of the day that you will not have maximum success trying to force someone into something that isn't in line with who they automatically or naturally or emphatically are. When you begin to understand the strengths and weaknesses of a person, you can cover your weaknesses and accentuate your strengths and get more out of each interaction. So hopefully this is helpful. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.